The question at the summit. The last unanswered question. This is a story about the awake explorer whose 28th awakening adventure begins when he reaches a mountain summit expecting one final answer. Instead, he encounters a question that cannot be solved by more thinking and discovers how much of his search has depended on postponing the choice already in front of him. The awake explorer reached the summit just before sunset. He had climbed for hours. At the top stood a small stone shelter. Above the doorway were carved the words, "The last question." He smiled, finally. Inside was a single wooden table, one chair, one notebook, no teacher, no instructions. The explorer opened the notebook. On the first page, "What are you still waiting for before you choose peace?" He frowned. "That's the last question." He turned the page. Blank. The next page, blank. He flipped through the entire notebook. Nothing. "You're kidding." He sat down. Surely there had to be more. He pulled out his phone. No signal. He opened his notes anyway. Maybe he could reason it out. What was he waiting for? More certainty? Better circumstances? A clearer sign? Someone else to change? A final spiritual breakthrough? He wrote them all down, then began analyzing each one. 10 minutes became 30. The sun dropped lower. His phone buzzed despite having no signal. Course correction. Notice whether you are seeking another answer, so you can postpone a choice you already understand. The explorer stared at the screen. That seems unfair. He put the phone down. He had spent years asking questions. What should I do? Where should I go? What does this mean? What is my lesson? How do I know who is right? What comes next? Questions had helped him. Some had opened doors, but questions could also become hiding places. As long as he was still searching, he did not have to choose. He looked again at the notebook. "What are you still waiting for before you choose peace?" He wrote, "For everything to make sense." Then crossed it out, "For certainty." Crossed that out too, "For proof that choosing peace will not cost me something." He stopped. That one felt different. If he stopped defending a grievance, who would protect his position? If he stopped worrying, who would prepare for danger? If he stopped controlling, what would keep life from falling apart? Part of him still believed peace was risky. Struggle felt safer because struggle felt active. Peace felt like setting down the weapon before he knew the battle was over. The explorer stood and walked outside. Clouds moved below the summit. The valley was almost invisible. He could not see tomorrow's trail. He could not see the town he would reach. He could not see what problems waited below. And nothing about the mountain offered guarantees. An older hiker was sitting nearby, drinking tea from a metal cup. The explorer pointed toward the shelter. "Did you answer the question?" The hiker smiled. "For about 20 years. What did you finally write?" "Nothing." The explorer laughed. "Very helpful." The hiker looked toward the horizon. "I kept answering because I thought the right answer would make the choice for me." And it never did. The explorer sat beside him. "So what did?" "I got tired of waiting." They watched the sky turn orange. The explorer understood. The question was not asking for another theory. It was exposing the delay. He had often said, "I will choose peace when I understand, when I feel ready, when the fear is gone, when the other person apologizes, when I know I won't regret it." But perhaps readiness was not something that arrived first. Perhaps willingness came before certainty. He returned to the shelter. The notebook waited. He picked up the pen. Under the question he wrote, "Nothing." Then he paused. "That felt too easy," he added. "I'm still afraid sometimes. I still want guarantees. I still forget. But none of those have to decide for me." He closed the notebook. No flash of light. No hidden door opened. No final teaching appeared on the wall. The summit remained exactly as it was. The explorer laughed. Of course. He had expected the last question to produce the last answer. Instead, it had revealed something simpler. Peace was not waiting at the end of enough understanding. It was a choice available before understanding was complete. The next morning, the explorer began descending. At the first fork, there were 2 trails. No sign, no signal. He stood there for a moment. The old habit appeared. Which is right? What if I choose wrong? What am I missing? Then he smiled. He chose one. Not because he knew where it led, because he no longer needed every question answered before taking the next peaceful step. Behind him, the summit disappeared into clouds. The last unanswered question remained unanswered. And somehow, that was enough.